Well, but I think this is valuable. So I've just started the recording, as you can see in your screen. So just to repeat the couple points. So during the sharing around communion felt repetitive in the sense that we'd already had interactive and we'd already drawn people out, and then we were doing that again around the communion in a way that felt redundant, maybe.
Yeah, it is. It's that everyone already reflected, but to ask them to give input again, one, each person at a time on, okay, think of something to praise.
Uh-huh.
For me, that is repetitive. When we actually can think of, when we can do a praise by having a statement on the slide that says God is, and then and meditate. I mean, there can just be a prompt that says God is faithful in this way, or whatever. Although, I don't want to can it too much. That's the whole thing. I mean, this isn't a liturgy that we're doing through, but there's got to be a way to not have to solicit interaction from each other, because they've already kind of tired. We've had to think a lot by the time we get to the praise thing, and sometimes I just feel like, wait a minute, I don't have any more, to give. I need a little bit of rest. So if there was a few prompts and then we could just go into the communion, it could actually make it go faster.
Yep.
And we could still get the experience.
Yeah. The thing that is stirring in my heart is to try a slightly different way of approaching the scripture up front. Here we're going through and sharing with each other what we see and observe, and then at the end we do some journaling about what's Jesus saying to us through this. Yeah. I'm wondering if how it would work if we started on the screen, just to read through it quietly themselves, ask Jesus to show them something out of the passage and journal that. And then we go into the pattern that we did this morning, where somebody reads a portion and retells it. And, we go through that and do the retell. And then we take those insights that whatever we may have heard before from Jesus, along with whatever else new comes. My thought is that maybe that gets our eyes focused on Jesus from the outset in a slightly different way, and hearing things at maybe a deeper level or in a different way from when most of us are more experienced in the intellectual side of analyzing. I think we've gotten a good level of hearing from Jesus through the thing. But anyway, that's
I like your idea, Robby. I like it a lot. I see immediately benefits to changing and putting the whole story first. It goes from global to part, whole to part. So it's holistic.
Yeah.
And then it gives the holistic bigger picture of the passage first. And then we get to look at the individual pieces. I think it's very powerful, and that's the right way to do it, I think.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'll share this with Ernie and we'll talk about it. Maybe it'll come up in the debrief tomorrow. But I think if we did that, then and then we looked at the flow afterwards in light of that, the sharing around the scripture, we might reduce some of the time, but also be more focused in the application and prayer for one another.
Yeah, because ideally what you want, I think, is a balance of equal time for scripture and for communion and prayer. And then it'll be in sync. So I think you could achieve it with that kind of a format.
Okay. Did you want to say more about that? I have another question for you is, did you, let's see, do you feel like the opening sharing was as good as it can get? Do you feel like trying a different question or something different in the dynamics right at the start when we start off would be?
Well, I see the advantage to your opening questions as well as the ones that we used. And so if I would also encourage you that if you wanted to interject and also and say, this is what this is the application that I made, or this is what I learned from last week and I'm still thinking about it. This is the application for it. That's perfectly appropriate. So the opening questions, it's interesting, group for group. Last night's group shared intimately pretty quickly. This one, didn't seem to be enough of a prompt, but to get people to share a little more detail, but that's not always the purpose of the opening. It isn't always the fruit of the opening question that people are more detailed. It doesn't have to be the goal. The opening question is to get everybody started and to get everybody thinking and to get everybody ready to share more.
Yeah, well, I still have this sense of prompting or eagerness to try to encourage celebration of something that we discussed last week. We talked this week about little steps of getting out of the boat or little steps that lead toward getting out of the boat. And if we have a question that relates to that invites those kinds of stories, I'd be interested to see what kind of direction that takes in this interaction.
It might be that it changes every week, and it says, as the question goes something like, as we study Jesus getting out of the boat. No, sorry. As we studied Jesus walking on the water toward the boat last week. Was there a way that this story spoke to you that also helps you that we're rejoicing about something that happened on the outside or something that weeped on the outside? But as we contemplated this story throughout the week.
Yeah. All right, so we can think and pray about that for the debrief at 7:30 tomorrow morning.
Okay. 7:30.
Isn't that when it is?
I don't know. Nobody told me.
Yeah, so Ernie is trying to have a regular debrief, and last week it was just him and me for half an hour. But he's suggesting certainly that we include you.
That would be great. Actually, 7:30 is a good time for me because I get up at 7 and I come home and then I go back to feed Julie her breakfast around 8:30 or 9. So that should work out just fine.
Yeah, the debrief may go longer. Ernie had a time box last time from a prior commitment, but you can drop out whenever as well. So.
Okay, sounds good. Well, I was not in my natural comfort zone doing this, and so I don't know if you could tell, but I'm never comfortable doing this kind of a leading thing.
One principle of discipleship is you don't ask the person who will do it best. You ask the person who will grow the most. So I think you experienced that, and it wasn't perfect, which means that there's room to improve, which is what we're aiming for here.
Yeah.
I think you did good. You did well, and I'm happy you did it.
Yeah, it's kind of funny, but I suffer the most negative self-talk when I'm doing this kind
Right.
of thing. Um, if I'm if, if I'm reacting to something that someone has just said,
Uh-huh.
then I have I have the highest self-esteem.
Uh,
But if I'm initiating, guiding somebody into a next step, and I'm in
right.
charge of doing that, I get all kinds of negative self-talk that I always. So I ask.
Uh,
That's something I solicit prayer about, and it's something it's deep inside of me. It's that I'm afraid I'm going to bore somebody.
yeah.
I'm afraid they're dropping off because of me, because it's going too slow, or I'm not saying enough, or I'm not being funny enough, or
Yeah. Yeah.
it's all of that stuff. I mean,
Right.
and those, and you can, I'm sure, relate, because you and I both, we're in our heads, you know.
Yeah.
But I have a self-esteem around losing my audience, which is really killer. So I have to really fight off a lot of negative self-talk.
Yeah.
So thank you for your encouragement, because that helps me.
Sure. I liked the effort we made to turn the pitch into a dialogue, interacting with the person. I think if we continue to cultivate that, that will grow in the group as we get smoother in the logistics.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Well, bless you. And we'll talk tomorrow at 7:30, and then we'll see what the Lord does from there.
Okay.
You have a great day.
Who's going to send me the link? It's going to come in the group me. Okay, I get it.
No, it's yeah, we'll probably just send it to you and Brent, or it'll be just a phone call, a recorded phone call like Ernie was doing around the Great Reset. Uber conference is the link that will come, or I'll have Ernie send you the information.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Robby.
All right.
God bless you. Have a
Yeah,
good
bless you. You too. Bye.